What's up, YouTube? This is the Roman Atheist here, Roman is Atheist, and we're gonna do another Stupid Things Christians Say to Atheists video. This is the third one that I am releasing, and just for some quick context about what you're seeing on the screen, this is just a video game that I pre-recorded. It's called Mount and Blade Warband. Lots of fun. Check it out. I'm running around. This is a medieval combat game. It's just something for the background that people might enjoy. But anyway, going back to stupid things Christians say to atheists, this time it takes more faith to not believe in God than to believe in God, or it takes more faith to be an atheist than to be a Christian. So, this statement is problematic for a few reasons. As just some context, when this is brought forward, when you're like in a debate or a discussion about religion, generally that means the person saying this doesn't have any more good arguments, if that makes any sense. The reason why I'm saying that is because it goes back to whataboutism in some way, because usually this comes forward, at least in my experience, either unprovoked from people who I'm not actually discussing with, who just happen to know that I'm a disbeliever, or I'm talking to them about something completely different, and they're like, oh, well, let's talk about religion, and then I say, okay, and they're like, oh, well, it takes more faith to be an atheist than to be a Christian, or something like that. That kind of thing, and that catches me off guard, and usually I say a similar thing to what I'm going to say now. But anyway, in like the other way is like when you're having a conversation and you've at least gotten to this point where they realize, oh, well, I just believe all this on faith, I have no actual evidence for it. Then they'll come, well, it takes more faith to be an atheist anyway than to be a Christian. That's how it usually goes for me, if that makes any sense. So those are the two main ways that I generally get this statement, and both are problematic. The first one is a feeble attempt at, I guess, trying to reason with an atheist when it comes to... That makes it sound like we as atheists are irrational, which we're not, but the statement is irrational because the whole point of atheism, which is a neutral position, it's not denying God, it's just not accepting that there's the existence. It's like not accepting the existence of Bigfoot. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is when people just come out of the blue, they think it's something smart and something that the atheist has never heard of, but generally you hear it like all the time. I guarantee you, if any of you actively communicate with theists or have theist family, you've heard this more than once, because that's just kind of how it is. But anyway, if you kind of get what I'm saying here, that's more shown as an attempt to convert the atheist through some kind of reason that I don't fully understand that they're giving. Now, in a debate/conversation where this comes forward, when someone brings this up in a conversation, it generally means they're out of any other responses to your statements, or you've at least pointed out that faith isn't a reliable thing to base your belief off of, and then they'll say this, which in their mind might make sense, but it really doesn't. Because if you think about it, this points out that faith is actually a bad thing to use because they're using it as a negative. Well, it takes more faith to be an atheist than to be a Christian. That's said in a way that makes it sound negative. And it's like, I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head. I can't think of anything to compare it to off the top of my head, any arguments from Absurd or whatever, but I don't script these videos, so this is kind of unfiltrated, if that makes any sense, and I also barely edit them. My apologies for that when you get some rambling on like I'm doing now, but anyway, it's kind of absurd when you really think about it, because most atheists I've ever talked to base it on just the fact that they don't have any evidence for God, or any reliable evidence of God's existence. So in that case, why would a Christian think about saying this in a debate? It's usually because they're run out of ideas. So that's a major reason. Those are two major reasons why I brought up why you just shouldn't say it to them. It doesn't it doesn't follow very well to the most atheist position, if that makes any sense. Because most atheists say, I would believe in God if I saw evidence for it. That's where I'm in. If I had undeniable evidence of God's existence, I would 100% believe in the existence of that God. But when someone says it takes more faith to be an atheist than to be a Christian, that's less of a claim. That's more targeting someone's belief with something that they say, that they pointed out that they don't use as a reliable way of measuring someone's understanding. So they use that as almost a way of attacking the other person's or lack of belief, but in response it damages their own argument, because they say, oh, well, you just gotta have faith and that kind of stuff. And then there's the whole takes more faith to be an atheist, which I've said probably like turn it into a drinking game if you're of legal age. But basically what I'm getting at is it doesn't make sense if you're a Christian here for whatever reason and you're watching this video. Don't say this to any atheist you know. Either it'll just get them mad and it won't be productive, or they'll just wind up not caring and write off everything you say from then on. But anyway, basically, Christians don't say this to atheists. There's no reason. But one little tip for atheists when talking to Christians: don't define faith for Christians or any other theists, because it just makes life a whole bunch harder for you. Listen to what they value and what they say faith is, and that'll give you a better understanding. And generally it's to a similar effect, and any arguments you have against faith would still logically track. But anyway, I hope this video makes some sense. Again, if you like this type of video with the video game in the background, hit the like button. If you don't like it and you want it back, what I had before, put it in the comments. It's basically like a stream would run through, or I had like the sky changing with the stars and stuff, and both are very interesting, but I just have it go on a loop, and that's probably kind of boring, where this game might be interesting, and I'm going to have other games up there too, and you guys can decide which ones you want me to use. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a nice day. I'm the Romanist Atheist. Peace.